Savannah Guthrie, the polished co-anchor who greets America every morning, is familiar to millions. Her bright smile, sharp intellect, and poised interviews make her seem untouchable, effortless in navigating the toughest stories. For over a decade, she has been a morning companion, sharing world events and personal anecdotes alike, from motherhood challenges to professional triumphs. Yet beneath that composed exterior lies a story few know. A secret buried for decades, hidden so deeply that even her family and closest allies may have never suspected it. A double life. The foggy morning that changed everything. On February 10th, 2026, that hidden world began to unravel. Savannah's mother, Nancy N.Y. Guthrie, had been missing for nearly 10 days, her disappearance a haunting puzzle for the family. Blood on the porch, an inactive pacemaker, and cryptic Bitcoin demands created a tense, grim scenario. Savannah and her siblings had been coordinating with Puma County authorities and FBI agents, combing reports, checking leads, and grappling with fear and frustration. The tension in the temporary Tucson command center was palpable. Yet, the day began like any other, until a call arrived that changed everything. The voice from the past. At 8:45 a.m., Savannah stepped onto the back patio to answer a phone call, expecting another update from authorities. The voice on the line, however, was unmistakably different. A woman in her mid-50s, urgent but calm, identified herself as Elena. Savannah froze. The name had not been spoken in decades, tied to a life she thought she had left behind. Elena's words were measured yet pointed, referring to events, places, and even a personal locket from the late 1980s. Her message was clear. NY's disappearance was connected to Savannah's past, and if she didn't confront the truth, everything would collapse. The breaking point. Savannah returned inside, pale and shaking, and called an emergency family meeting with her siblings, Annie and Cameron. No law enforcement, no outsiders, just family. For the first time in 30 years, she revealed the truth about her double life. It was not scandalous in the tabloid sense, but it was deeply personal and complicated. The story began in Tucson, where she grew up under the watchful eye of her mother, New York. Savannah had excelled academically, led her debate team, and earned acceptance to the University of Arizona, all while hiding a part of herself she feared would never be accepted. The weight of expectations. Savannah's childhood appeared ordinary, yet it was layered with pressure. Her father's early death left NY as the unwavering pillar of the family, expecting strength, independence, and emotional restraint. Choose joy, NY would say, teaching her children to endure hardship silently. Savannah followed these lessons meticulously, hiding vulnerability behind achievement. But the facade took a toll. As a teenager, she longed for freedom and a space to explore who she was without judgment. That desire would soon lead her to Elena, a figure who would introduce Savannah to a life entirely outside her mother's expectations. Enter Elena Ramirez. Elena Ramirez was 19 in 1988, a vibrant artist and activist in Tucson. She ran an underground youth group for teens exploring identity, creativity, and nonconformity. Savannah stumbled into one of these meetings after spotting a flyer promising a place to be yourself. Elena's charisma was magnetic. She encouraged curiosity, self-expression, and defiance of societal norms. To Savannah, she became a lifeline, a secret world that offered escape from the rigid structure of home life. Their friendship deepened, blossoming into a love that had to remain hidden from her mother's watchful eyes. A hidden life. For Savannah, the years with Elena were formative but secretive. They explored activism, art, and ideas that felt dangerous in conservative Tucson. Elena introduced her to a community and experiences she could never share at home. The bond grew beyond friendship, a love that defined her adolescence and shaped her adult identity. Yet every interaction carried the risk of exposure. Savannah navigated school, family, and eventually her budding career with a compartmentalized life. Her identity, vibrantly alive with Elena, existed in the shadows, while her public self adhered strictly to expectations. The confrontation. When Elena finally re-emerged on the phone that February morning, decades of secrecy collided. She reminded Savannah of their shared past, revealing details only someone deeply embedded in that hidden life could know. Elena's revelations connected directly to NY's disappearance, implying that the events of 30 years ago were not merely memories, but pieces of a dangerous puzzle still active today. Savannah, for the first time, confronted the fact that her past had caught up with the present. The weight of secrecy, loyalty, and fear of exposure pressed heavily on her shoulders. The envelope. Elena handed over a small envelope to authorities containing photos, letters, and a handwritten list of names from their activist days. One name, Ricky Torres, was circled in red. Ricky had been off the grid for years, yet a recent DMV update placed him in Tucson. Witness reports had placed someone matching his description near NY's neighborhood 2 weeks prior to the abduction. While not conclusive, this was a tangible lead. For Savannah, it marked a shift in her understanding of the situation, a thread to follow, a possibility that the mystery surrounding her mother was connected to decisions made decades ago. Rediscovering herself. As the sun set over the Catalina Mountains, Savannah stood on the porch, Elena by her side. The years of concealment, the careful maintenance of a polished public persona felt suddenly unnecessary. She didn't have to apologize for her past, for the love she kept hidden, or for the choices she made in pursuit of freedom. In this moment of vulnerability and reconnection, Savannah discovered a sense of authenticity she had never allowed herself to fully embrace. She was no longer just the public anchor or the dutiful daughter. She was Clark, real and untethered. The new reality. The mystery of NY's disappearance remained unsolved, but Savannah's revelation marked the start of a transformation. She could face the past openly, reconcile with Elena, and navigate the crisis with a newfound clarity. The combination of old relationships, hidden truths, and emerging evidence suggested a complex interplay between decades-old activism and current events. For the first time in 10 days, Savannah felt a spark of agency, a possibility that the truth could both bring her mother home and allow her to finally live without hiding. A path forward. Savannah and Elena, standing together in the cooling desert evening, symbolized resilience and reconciliation. The desert wind whispered through the Palo Verde trees, a quiet witness to decades of secrets and newfound honesty. Somewhere, Nancy Guthrie remained missing, a reminder of unfinished business. Yet Savannah had taken the first steps toward resolving the past and embracing her full self. The next chapter, intertwined with mystery, activism, and love, promised danger but also hope. As she faced it, she was no longer just Savannah Guthrie, the anchor. She was the sum of all she had hidden and all she had survived. The beginning of answers. With evidence in hand and connections resurfacing, the Guthrie family prepared for the next phase of the investigation. Ricky Torres and other names on Elena's list could unlock answers long buried. Savannah's dual life, once a secret, became a bridge between past and present, shaping strategy, intuition, and emotional resilience. While the outcome remained uncertain, one thing was clear. Confronting hidden truths was not only necessary for solving NY's disappearance, but also for Savannah's own liberation. The story was far from over, and every step forward revealed the power of secrets finally spoken.